It began as nothing more than a flicker, a faint, almost imperceptible blip in the data. Cold, silent, swift. Something was moving through our solar system in a way nothing had ever dared before. Telescopes across the planet, from the remote volcanic peaks of Hawaii to the windswept observatories of South Africa, caught it first. Their readings whispered of something strange. Then NASA confirmed it. Not a rock, not a comet, not anything we'd seen before. A new object, uncharted and unbound by the predictable grip of gravity. And the most terrifying part? It wasn't born here. It came from outside. What began as another celestial curiosity quickly became a riddle, a mystery disguised as an object. In the first few hours after discovery, the data shifted from harmless to impossible. Speed too fast, trajectory too perfect, light reflections too bright. Patterns began to emerge where randomness should have reigned. And when scientists traced its path backward through time, what they uncovered made blood run cold. The object was plunging straight toward the heart of our system. For decades, humanity has comforted itself with the notion that space is silent, still, indifferent. But as this thing barreled into our cosmic backyard, the James Webb Space Telescope turned its unblinking eye upon it. What it began to reveal was not just unsettling, it was a warning. And before we continue deeper into this mystery, remember, this is exactly the kind of story this channel follows. The signals everyone else ignores, the patterns hidden in the noise. If you want to follow the next anomaly before the world even hears about it, subscribe now, because the next visitor may not simply pass by. First detected between June 25th and 29th, the object has since been given an official name, 3I Atlas. It first appeared on the radar of Atlas, a high-speed sky-scanning system designed to catch hazardous objects before they surprise us. But this was no ordinary rock, no nameless comet. What Atlas caught this time was different. Its speed exceeded 152,000 mph. Its orbit didn't match any known gravitational loop of comets or inner solar wanderers. And when astronomers simulated its reverse trajectory, its path pointed not to the Oort cloud, not to Neptune's icy fringe, but to the darkness of interstellar space, possibly even the core of our own galaxy. This wasn't a leftover shard from the solar system's birth. This was something that had been traveling through the dark for tens of thousands of years. And now it had crossed the threshold into our domain. But the deeper question wasn't just where it came from. It was why now? Because before 2017, humanity had never recorded a single interstellar object. Now we've seen 3, and each one stranger than the last. After the initial confirmation, the world's top astronomers scrambled to get time on the James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful eye humanity has ever built. Designed to pierce the oldest layers of time and space, Webb was now turning inward toward something much closer and far more unsettling. The brightness of 3I Atlas didn't match its apparent size. Based on the light it reflected, it should have been massive, but measurements revealed something smaller, which means its surface wasn't behaving like rock or ice at all. It was acting like metal, highly reflective, cold, possibly hollow. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who famously proposed that the 2017 visitor Oumuamua might have been artificial, stepped forward again. He urged the scientific community to watch for non-gravitational acceleration, subtle deviations in its path that gravity alone could not explain. If such deviations existed, then this object was not drifting. It was navigating, and if it was navigating, then we were not observing a rock. We were observing a decision. To understand how grave this discovery is, we must look at the 2 interstellar objects that preceded it. In 2017, Oumuamua arrived, a strange, elongated shape, no comet tail, a mysterious acceleration after passing the Sun despite showing no signs of gas or propulsion. Then, in 2019, Borisov entered the picture. A comet, yes, but faster, more volatile than anything seen before. Each left us with more questions than answers. But 3I Atlas is different. It combines the inexplicable brightness of Oumuamua with the trajectory of Borisov. It defies the categories of rock and ice alike. And now, astronomers are whispering something more radical. These aren't isolated events. They're a pattern, a wave, a slow, deliberate sequence of contact disguised as randomness. For centuries, our skies were empty. Then suddenly they weren't. And the only variable that changed was us. Among all the papers, simulations, and models lies one question no institution wants to ask aloud. What if it's not natural? When brightness is too high, when the path is too sharp, when the motion isn't gravitational, you're left with a possibility too frightening to speak plainly. Artificiality. Not aliens in sources, not green faces, but probes, autonomous messengers sent from far away, long ago. Loeb has warned we may have already missed the message of Oumuamua, and that 3i Atlas could be our second chance. Its surface properties, its anomalous speed, the timing of its arrival, all of it points toward intention, or at least engineering, and so Webb watches, measuring its thermal signature, its spin, its trajectory. But what if the answer is not about what it is, but about who sent it? Because in a universe 13.8 billion years old, the most terrifying discovery wouldn't be that we're alone. It would be that we've been watched all along, and only now are we smart enough to notice. As the days passed, data from Webb and supporting ground-based observatories converged on something deeply unsettling. The object was accelerating, slightly but measurably, and not in any way solar radiation could explain. No outgassing, no tail, no particle plume. And yet, its trajectory slipped past predictions with eerie precision. Webb's infrared lens confirmed a faint but stable thermal signature, not chaotic like an icy body, but patterned, deliberate. The anomaly echoed Oumuamua's unexplained acceleration, but this time it wasn't dismissed. It was measured, tracked, feared, because acceleration without force suggests something else, something with control. And for the first time, scientists began to whisper in internal memos what they could not yet say in public. We're not just observing this object. We might be under observation ourselves. NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center performed a full spectral analysis. They expected silicates, iron, ice. Instead, they found something that shattered expectations. The surface composition didn't match any known asteroid or comet profile. Certain absorption lines hinted at advanced carbon structures, materials more commonly associated with engineering than geology. In layman's terms, it looked manufactured. Reflectivity unusually high. Hints of symmetry in its spin, something almost unheard of in random cosmic debris. One side absorbing more heat than the other, possibly intentional. Even stranger, electromagnetic readings suggested internal complexity, cavities or layered density. Whatever this was, it wasn't a rock. And if it isn't a rock, what is it? That question began echoing from NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab to the European Southern Observatory, to the classified halls of national defense agencies. If nature didn't make this, someone did. And then something changed. Public updates slowed. NASA, ESA, and ISRO all quietly removed trajectory data from public pages. Observation timelines vanished. Requests for raw Webb data were denied under internal review. FOA requests returned black bars and redacted text. Researchers were pulled from teams. Specialists reassigned. Telescope feeds restricted. The narrative shifted from curiosity to silence. Why? What had been found? What did they decide we shouldn't know? Because once a discovery crosses a certain threshold, one that challenges physics, security, or belief, it no longer belongs to science. It belongs to control, and in space, control is as much about silence as it is about signals. The realization has begun to dawn across the scientific world. This is not just a data point. It's an inflection point. Centuries of assumptions about space, solitude, and human centrality are cracking. If this object is artificial, then it came from a civilization far older than ours. A civilization capable of building something to survive millennia in deep space. One that might never need to speak because its presence alone is the message. And if it isn't artificial, then we've just found a natural phenomenon so advanced, it mimics design. Either way, the conclusion is the same. Our understanding of the universe is incomplete.